the day after the full moon. It's always amazing for my 5D mystics and those lovely functional adults. We're here ready to be ourselves, and that means compassionate beyond a reason. So integrated brains, this is the optimization of human 101, and any person who does work with their own emotional spectrum can access this level of optimization even without spirituality like yoga or meditation or any of that. I've not done much of the meditation. Sitting in silence seems like a waste of my time, but I do know how to sit in silence inside my body. That's what I recognized. Thank you, Sadhguru. I did do your yoga. And what I noticed was, I've already been doing ventral vagal state my entire life. Oh, mind sight. I've been doing that one my entire life too. So what is mind sight? Thank you, Daniel Siegel. It's you being able to use your chatter brain, the left side of it, and the right where the emotions come up in sensations, and to sift sensations, images, thoughts, feelings. Now, my 5D mystics, this is for you, because we know we're not anointed, especially as soon as we have clairs. We would never in a million years talk about ourselves as more special. It's insulting to the human species, and it's egoic. And it's a lot about the whole supernatural. So while 4D mystics and people in the middle, they do the spiritual, they believe that the spiritual is some type of entity. We know law of physics much more ideal, and even here, we're very independent. So when you're one piece of consciousness, which is what I'm talking about, my 5D mystics in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, you know that there's not really some law that's going to be controlling you. It's more of a dharma dance. In fact, we know it very well because likes, dislikes with our family, we get to go beyond it, and that's our playground. This is why for the 5D mystic, twin flame, soulmates, our oversoul, it's a beautiful joyride no matter what heads our way, because really, what's going to head your way? When you have the depth of emotional experience from your ventral vagal state, integrated brains know how to do mindfulness, mind sight, and even though I'm not great at breathing, we're able to sit in a brain that stays calm and collected because our ventral vagal state is engaged. Since you have no weapon, I'm not going to be in a way of fighting you. So we don't do survival mode even when we're in what others 4D spectrum instead right now. That's about 70% of people. They're actually not integrated brains. So they have groups and they're in an energy that is high because the full moon and any of the ascension events really brings up what has yet to be resolved from within. And I want to read to you a little bit from the astrology booklet of that opposition. So when two planets oppose each other across the circle of the zodiac, as the sun and moon do on a full moon, both planets will either be in signs of yang elements, fire and air, or yin elements, water and earth, and stare directly at each other across the earth like partners in a wrestling match. The opposition can feel like a dare or a challenge, like boot camp, where confrontation pushes everyone to grow. So 5D mystics don't need the push. We actually naturally move into expansion of consciousness. That's why you're 5D. 5D is oneness consciousness. Means that you're Purusha Prakriti. Means you know unconditional love for you with flaws and imperfections and for another, which is why we don't shame, we don't blame, we don't fault. And when people do the whole revenge thing, we don't consider it something evil. Evil is a 1 to 22 spectrum of all people who could use good trauma-informed experts and a long therapy journey to become their true self, which actually the optimized, again, human 101, unless you cannot physically, so unless there's a physical situation with your brain structure, they're still looking into these aspects because therapy can help a lot of people to understand how their brain structure works and so why there's the overwhelm with sensation. This is the part nobody actually doesn't have an opportunity to understand how their body and mind works. There's an entire mental health community, and they're amazing. I think of Daniel Siegel, Bezel van der Kolk, Stephen Porges, Peter Levine, Ruth Lanius, Diane Heller. Attachment systems are important as attachment categories, or attachment styles, and categories, because our attachment system, we all have one. So I don't want to make it about psycho-ed, but we bring human elements, spiritual and spirituality, and there's not a supernatural. So when I see things like the law of cosmos, I'm like, yeah, 5D mystic, we're way beyond that. And for my lovely community, knowing that love doesn't run away. Love is not a chase, because love means your body is in a ventral vagal state. So when somebody wants to pose you, that makes them a person who's in a low self-esteem and low emotional spectrum because they're being charged. And if they're opposing you, which at this time, those who don't like the Zen masters, those of us who know all humans are special, and that's every single one of the 8 billion and growing, and all the ones from our past, because we're part of evolution. So some want to think of humans as parasites. No, they can go with their other people. We're infinite higher human consciousness potential. Without spirituality or spiritual in the future, I mean, of course, right now there's subject matters that exist in more than just subject matters, but science, the methodology of scientific study, I mean, I don't know. I am a person with a master's, and I kind of found it odd as I got older that some people from the background of education didn't realize we'd move into an era of science and technology. I'm not sure why they're treating it like evil, unless, oh, that's right, they're living in the Middle Ages or the ancient times. Apparently they want to go back. I'm not, to me, it kind of feels off every time I hear anyone talk about themselves being smart. And then they bring to me religious belief systems. Science can be that to some people. Like, oh no, they proved it once. It's always going to be this. Even for me, I'm wrong so many times. And that's because I forget information and mix it up. So 5D mystics are clairs. We know they're not special. We know that they're part of a process of this collective consciousness. So here's when you tap into it. Your immediate oversoul gives you a flavor of all the different bandwidths and all the different types of energetic imprints. We're one big ball of energy. And as I share this, if anyone is a 5D mystic, there's paid subscription-based model content. I have plans to share with you aspects that 4D talks about in ways that are completely off. You don't need protection from energy. There's no energy vampires. We're talking about people here. And all people began life as 0 years old. They all have the same attachment system you do, and if they have unresolved trauma, they have charged states. And then if they don't know what a healthy relationship is, they have codependent relationships. That means they try to change each other or they try to take care of each other. If they have adaptive children, modalities, 4D, 3D, and just other soul age groups, they're superheroes or supervillains, or they're rescuers or they need rescuing. And when the universe and source don't come, or people don't come, this is the moment they did not get seen, they did not get sued, they did not feel safe, and therefore they're not secure, and therefore in their body they do not have a sense of, I'm okay. There's no secure attachment for those challenging emotional situations from their mind, the one that chatters. So no matter how much meditation they do, the chatter, when the sensations come up, if they don't know how to soothe themselves, they don't got resources, the unresolved trauma is going to be overwhelming. And by the way, people get angry in their little brains and big brains, and then they spit out venom to people like us, because this is the part. They think of all the people who are happy, all the people who say, we can do this, it'll be okay, we got it. And they don't get angry at us because they don't like us. They don't know how to feel safe in their body. And their brain has used the imagination for the dark sides of neuroplasticity. And it keeps on wiring their inner critic, outer critic, then they deny through drugs, addictions, drugs, sex, alcohol, food, things that become compulsive, even just wasting time with video games. So if you learn about attachment styles, you'll note that secure attachment knows how to take care of our well-being because we're in the middle. We do equanimity. The others, no, they don't know how to nurture because their actual wiring, their attachment system did not get consistent contingent communication from that 0 to 7 month, which only your right brain is online, only the emotional stuff. So long story short, the 0 to 1 year old of every person, until they are able to feel whole, will be in this shame defectiveness. I'm broken, so humanity's broken. I'm mean, so humanity's mean. I'm this, it's always going to be a mirror. The compassionate mirrors are my 5D mystics, our Zen masters. Here we are, come together and be loving and kind. If somebody runs away, don't chase them. Love is a lover's dance. It's like the tango. So all of our oversoul, the people who want to love with us, they stick around and we have fun. And the ones who don't, it's okay. Not everybody wants to move into the 5D realm or enlightenment soul age group material. They're not interested in singing Kumbaya and saying, yes, we can do it all together. No, some, they prefer to be with the ones who are changing people or saving people or whatever it is. So they have codependent relationships. Leave it alone. Hurt people can do the work, but they need to realize they're a human being first. And that is something that we get to talk about. spirituality, and the human elements. We are human, infinite, higher consciousness. Love each other and be kind to each other. We'll be back.